All right, guys, please raise your hand if you'd like to be on camera.
Ray, what if it's just me and you? Oh, we
Be
have
fine.
more.
We got plenty to talk about.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'd have plenty, you and me. Hi guys. Happy Sunday. I requested, I thought a weekend Zoom could be like nice for a change because we've been hitting weekdays. And then totally occurred to me yesterday that today it's Memorial Weekend. So, I'm thinking we'll probably have slightly smaller group today, which is fine. But I have a lot of video submissions, so I'm gonna do my best to get through every single one because we end up sometimes I'm not quite getting to all of them. But it's great to see you. Thanks for making the time. And if you can just help me and the rest of the coaches, if anyone's not quite sure how to find the Zooms, just direct them back to my original article, and that's where they can find the recording. I'll give there a few more minutes to get everybody in. Yeah, no, I just saw your text. Yeah, I'll screen share with the videos. Thank you for that, buddy. Donna, nice to see you, girl. Been a minute, honey. Cecilia, great. I got some first timers on this call that I haven't seen yet. This is awesome. Atiken, I saw your video submission. We got lots to talk about, buddy. And Ray, you said you submitted two. One was an accident. Was the curl press the accident?
Yeah, I was.
I'm still
I
gonna go over it though, because there's
okay.
something interesting that you're doing that I want to show everybody else. So I'm gonna use that video if that's with your permission.
Hopefully, it's a example of what to do.
You're doing everything great, but I like you guys know me. I'm very nuanced. I look at lots of different positional opportunities for you guys. So we're gonna get into that. I
I just
do
didn't
want to
want to take
just
up too much time with too many videos. So
I know, yeah, there's 22. I tried to go through. So it'll be fine.
okay.
And I am keeping us to 60 minutes. I am gonna push to make this happen because it's the holiday and I want to try to respect everyone's time. Okay, so I wanted to leave a few minutes at the top if anybody wanted to have any reflections about the homework I assigned for this week. I saw a lot of responses in the comments, which is a great way to share. But some of those signals of success, yeah, Ray, go ahead. Your hand just went up. Go for it.
All right. Just you start noticing different things and the little things. Like obviously the scale's one thing, but um, my belt getting tighter, my clothes fitting differently, and that's all great stuff too. But it's the stuff that you really kind of take for granted at work. There's a
Oh,
spot where to get from point A to point B, I have to duck underneath something. And that
oh,
something is maybe mid belly, lower chest height, and just that bend over to go under that used to be a struggle. Where I had to kind of like think about that, go under, then I kind of pivot, and it was
yeah.
just it was hard on my back, it was hard on my knees, my legs, and then somebody else was noticing the other day. I work in maintenance, I fix broken machines, so a lot of times I have to get up and down off the floor, and a guy that knows what I'm going through, what I'm doing right now, my goals are, and he's like, "Boy, you're getting up and down a lot easier than you used
Yeah.
to." So it's that kind of stuff, that everyday thing that you see at work and in life, going up and down stairs easier, just all that little stuff that just kind of adds up and it just throws
Right.
it at
You
you.
just like you got your body back. You're like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't have to think about how to bend over. That's a
Yeah.
win. Yeah, I hear ya. That's so good, Ray. Thank you. Andre, go ahead next, buddy.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, clothes fit better. I was walking today and my pants were like I didn't have a belt on and they were falling out like comic crap. But I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
And also one day, like about a month and a half ago, I had my physical with the doctor. He said, well, you could drop some pounds if you want to, but you're kind of okay. But I see you're packing some muscle. I'm like, yeah, I know I am. So
Yes.
I'm like, what
Yeah.
else? But I was like, yeah, I'll drop some pounds because I want more definition. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's fun.
mm-hmm.
I don't care what anyone says. When somebody says that you look more muscular, you're like, yeah, I love
Mm.
external compliments all day. I'll take it. That's great.
Yeah.
Great. Mike, go ahead.
So mine has been more mental. So I've noticed that I am over time, I my inner monologue has gotten way more positive. which has been really kind of refreshing. Because I've been my glass has always been half empty. So recently, over these last few months, I've been a lot more positive, and then I noticed my inner monologue has been more positive. And then the next thing I knew, I'm not beating myself up as much anymore. Like when it comes to my eating, I've always been really good with, well, I haven't always been, but this last year I've been a lot better with my eating, but I'm always really hard on myself. So one thing my wife will always tell me is stop beating the crap out of yourself. And I noticed over the last few weeks, I have. So when you sent that homework assignment, I was like, wow, the one they snuck up on me, I guess. So just really cool stuff outside of just the health and fitness part of it. My mentality has started to shift, which has been really cool.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think everyone can relate to that. And I think Nick said it on his last Zoom call that even he's like, out of how many days a week that he is training as a professional world champion athlete and record holder, maybe twice a week he wants to be there. And I thought that was really, it was very honest of him, because it's like motivation will always fail you. You're never going to feel like it's the right circumstance, the right energy, the right thing, but so the systems you set up is what's going to help you. And within that system, which is what this is, what the pump is a system and a community, right? That keeps you churning. And you're like, whoa, it's like springtime. It's like something's different now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so really fun to hear, Mike. That's so cool, man. And neat that your spouse notices too, because if anybody has a family member or a partner or whatever, even best friends, it's like when they start to notice those changes too, it's kind of an extra confirmation that yeah, I am on track. And it goes back to my last homework about your average words per minute inside in your inner monologue. It's like, what are you saying to yourself? Because it's gonna either lift you up or create a lot of like cogs in the machine, a lot of damage for yourself. So cool.
Yeah.
All right, Donna, go ahead. We'll do Donna, then Richard, and then I'll move on.
Yeah, my husband wants me to stop punching him so hard. So I'm not kidding. He's like, yeah, no. But I do.
Because you're getting stronger. I hope that you were at a boxing class and you're not just punching your husband.
No, I mean, just messing around. But he's
Yeah,
like,
just being playful. Yeah.
yeah,
Amazing.
it is.
Amazing. Richard, go ahead.
Yeah, so my inner monologue is just the last two brain cells bouncing off of each other, but I did do my homework because I like to come prepared for these things, and I think I've got two, so I'll kind of get through them really quick. The first one is definitely a strength one in the gym. Ketch seems to be my muse. I love like his crazy stuff inspires me. I'm like, yeah, okay, this sounds great. So like my current one, I'm going for the 1,000-pound club, and
Great.
so the big one I think for me to get me there is gonna be my deadlift, and like my PR currently is 405. But on Thursday was the last week of phase one of the Maximize Your Strength program. Thursday's heavy deadlifting day, 2 reps on the top set. I pulled 395 for 2. So that's like, okay, so if 395 for 2, what's my real 1 rep max here?
Yeah, of course. You're like, well, yeah.
And then the second one's definitely nutrition tracker. All of those like little things, like the devil's in the details is like what Adam always says, like all those sauces, all those little things, like you start adding those up and it's like, whoa, like those are what's killing things. So like the food is starting to get a little bit less saucy the last little bit.
Yeah.
If I'm serious about wanting to drop a little extra weight, then that's what you have to. And I'm finding that like, okay, that's what we do then.
Well, it's new curriculum for everyone, even me, like I've personally never used a tracker like this until we created it and we were beta testing. And my biggest aha, and I'm someone that I've been at the same weight for a while, like I feel pretty steady. But I have noticed changes in my body as I've entered my 40s. And it was funny, like even healthy choices, like almonds. Almonds are very healthy for you. And Whole Foods has this wonderful salt vinegar combo. And it's just a lot of fun. So much
Yes.
fun to eat. And so instead of,
Costco here in Canada has the ketchup almonds.
see, I can't
And
go. I can't go to
yep,
Costco. I can't be
I
trusted.
can't do those anymore unless it's like a workout day, and I'm
Yeah,
like very mindful of the
because
fats to that point.
because you don't have the servings. And I was realizing instead of, and I'm thinking, I'm not eating Cheetos, I'm not getting a chocolate croissant at the coffee place, and I'm taking a handful of like, and every single handful of almonds I was doing was only about a quarter cup. That's 16 grams of fat.
Yep.
So 1.5 servings. And I was like, wait a second, you know, and by the way, guys, I know it's in an almond, but what's fun about the tracker, it's the audit for yourself. You're like, wait a second, do I want to spend the calories here or do I want to spend them over there? And so just keep looking at this like Tetris every day. You're given a certain amount of servings, whether you're training or not training, and then you get to fit those pieces together. Some days I'm over, some days I'm under, and I understand why. So anyway, both really great, really great, Richard. I'm going to move us on to questions from the app. I saw a few more hands up. Please continue to put your wins in the chat because I want to read all of them and I want other people to see them. There's 3 questions from the comments that I'm going to pull up, and then I'm going to go straight into form checks. Jeanette, great question. Now, really quickly, she said, how do you track a half serving? Guys, we're all grown-ups and we all know how to do really simple math, right? So it's like, if you know, Jeanette, like I know like 16 grams of fat, I think 1.5. So I hit 2 servings in the tracker and I know I've got another half a serving to go. Or I keep a running list in my notes section on my phone and I'll just put like fats 0.5, carbs 0.5. I already asked Ketch and Adam about like, of course we create something and then we're already looking at 2.0 to have a half servings, but just do a little mental math or have a little sheet on your day if you feel like you're not going to keep the pin here. That's how. Yeah. All right, these are pretty straightforward. I'll do that one second. So this was a question that's kind of come up a few times and I wanted to address it. And I actually answered this person in the app and I'm going to keep their name anonymous. So this person is basically saying, I'm using the tracker. I'm working out consistently, but I'm feeling tired. I am just run down. And that's where, as I always like to joke, the only person you should listen to over us coaches is yourself. Really listen to what your body is saying. And this person specifically said previously they've been doing 3 days a week. And then when they bumped up to 4 with all the other activity and the walking of the dog and the rucking, it just became too much. And this can have to do with, she was saying, is the kind of carbs I'm eating. And they're having quinoa, legumes. I'm like, no. But I think what you have to look at is your body's capacity for each day and each week. And I go to my personal settings in the app and I toggle to flexible. That's how I do it. Because instead of having to be stuck in, you've got to hit these 3 or 4 workouts per week, or you miss it, the flexible just takes things and moves them down for you. So if I'm like I woke up yesterday, guys, so sore. I don't know if you guys saw my squat. I was pretty proud of it. I did 315 for 3 and then I did 225. Thank you. Yeah. I was like, okay, this app really works. But I was so sore and I taught class and I was supposed to work out and I was like, no way. I can't even, blinking makes me tired. So I didn't work out. I just walked and got a coffee. And that was what I chose to do for me. Do I focus on the nutrition, making sure, yeah, Jen, make sure your protein, your carbohydrates are up, make sure you get to bed a little earlier for sure. But just use the flexible setting, take the day of rest, and then pick up the next day. I don't operate Monday through Friday. I operate on what I need to do today. So oftentimes like Sundays are my Mondays. I'll start my first workout of the week on a Sunday because I feel the freshest. I'm not training clients. It's a more of a mentally, emotionally easy day for me. So I do that to buy myself wiggle room during the week. And if that sounds like you, definitely try that. So just know that you've got that opportunity, but I love that flexible toggle because I've never missed a workout in the programs because it just moves it down for me. And that's literally, if you go, it's that little top, that little setting is machine looking part, and you can do it there. Just checking comments. Oh, thanks for jumping in and helping Jeanette with that, my dear. That's so sweet of you. Okay, this one was, I've lost 3 pounds with the nutrition tracker so far. Now when I'm getting hungry, I know to reach for protein. I only have a few pounds left to lose, but I mostly have ab fat. I'm a pretty small person, but I'm wondering if I can spot reduce my stomach. Also, I did some exercises and I'm sore from my leg workout. So I wanted to button that. So you have to remember with fat loss, and I'm going to say this twice because it makes everybody's brain blow up. We tend to lose it first where we gained it last. We tend to lose first where we gained last. And everybody on this call, in the app, on the planet, have natural, healthy energy stores, right? Calories and fat are energy stored on your body. That's part of life. That's part of being a human. That's part of survival. It's a really good thing. So just know for this person, when you get to those final few pounds, which how exciting, that's what you want. It feels like they take the longest because they will. And by the way, a little fat is fine. No, we're not doing the cover of Men's and Women's Health. We're not going to the Olympics unless you're Nick, maybe. Like it doesn't, even Nick doesn't care. So like you cannot spot treat, but if you want to keep going, if the weight is dropping and you're training and you have energy, then keep going and your body will continue to use those energy stores. But it's so important. When I heard that this person said, I'm tired, I'm sore, just make sure when you get to those final stretch of weight loss that you're not restricting your calories in order to get there. The process is working, so keep working it. It just that last few percentage points tends to take some of the longest, even if it feels psychologically longer, right? Your body's just taking its time. But when you see people like I think Jake Gyllenhaal did had a really funny quote around his next not Mad Max, Roadhouse movie. I don't know if you guys saw this interview, because if you saw the original, listen, Patrick Swayze forever. I just want to call that out and just let you guys know where I stand. But the Jake Gyllenhaal version, he came in very conditioned, in very good shape. And you're like, who looks like that? And the answer is nobody. Jake trained for months getting down to that look, for those few scenes to look like that for a few hours of recording. And he went back up. And his quote now is that he's already dreading this second bout of getting ready for the sequel. He's like, it's just so just know, like, the extra few pounds of fat, if you're functional, you have energy, that's more important than the extra few pounds. So just keep that in mind. One other question here. This is a technical movement. So when I do ab exercises, I end up sore in the middle of my back, and I'm doing cable crunches and double crunches mainly. I'm struggling to engage my core. Any tips or advice on how to do that better? And then somebody else said something similar. So I kind of want to pull you guys on the ground with me. Probably should have done grabbed a map, but we're going to be fine. So this, welcome to my living room floor. So what I see happening, thanks Noah, is look at the arch in my back, right? And then look at the arch go away. I'm arching and I'm going away. All I'm doing is moving my spine and vertebrae versus really engaging my core muscles. So what I like to think about is, if I'm starting here on the floor just like this, and I'll do a double crunch as well, but the first thing I do is think, can I draw my belly button in and connect my lower back to the ground? Okay, and it's a Pilates term called imprint, and you'll see my pelvis, like, this is what I'm arched. All I'm doing is gently pressing 2 pounds of pressure of my low back into the ground. And now I'm connected here. What I often see is my rib cage being unattached. See how this is not connected anymore? This is relaxed. So I want you guys to think about, can I connect my abs down so that I'm creating stability in my spine and I'm using my abs to pull me up versus using my mid back on the way, because often the reason why the mid back is hurting, it's not the way up, you guys, it's the way down. Okay, so there's an eccentric phase to that crunch. And so what I like is, even if you double crunch, which we know is our legs up, 2 things are important. Number 1, guys, do not let your knees come forward, okay? I want your knees over your hips, and you guys can try this on your own. If you just lay, you put your head down, and I want you to put 2 pounds of pressure in your head into the floor. And if you just do this, you won't feel your abs turn on. The moment you hit knees over hips, your lower abs connect, and now I'm here. I often see a disengagement or that. So I've released it and I'm dumping into my lower back. And so what's happening then is you're just moving through flexion and extension, but you're really not using your abs to do it. So my advice, you can either start feet. I like to start with feet down when I teach it. You imprint, and I want you to go a smaller range of motion. Slow up, slow down. So up, pause, return. Up, pause, return. Same thing, double crunch, up and return. But you can see I'm not releasing through the back. I hope that was not too redundant, but helpful. Any questions on that, or can I move on? Okay, same thing with that person saying I'm doing cable crunches. Guys, I can do this all day long. All this is doing is going through my spine. I'd rather have you stabilize, connect, keep your ribcage sutured, and you can feel your abs turning on to activate. So the only reason I'm moving forward is because my abs are pulling me forward. There's an iconic scene in Pumping Iron where Arnold has got the pulley row, right? The pulley abs, and he's just vacuuming, vacuuming, vacuuming. Arnold is such a good mover. It's almost feels like he's using a level of momentum. He was just so connected to those fibers. He makes it just look like, it looks like he's gliding through these positions. So just take your time, always slow everything down and do a shorter range of motion as you're getting stronger. And as you get better, you'll be able to pick up that range again. Okay. And that goes for any exercise. Yeah, I saw you wrote She-Wolf. That's funny. Okay, wonderful. I'm moving on from this and I'm going to form checks. Yeah, we're crushing. I'm going to share my screen and you guys are going to be so proud of me because I found a better, oh, that's not the screen that I want. There we go. I found a way to not show my age. Remember the last time I couldn't figure out how I was doing all the squiggly lines and I was messing up. So all I have to do instead of going back, I just toggle forward and I can go through every video. Look at how smart I am. So we're going to go one at a time and here we go. All right, Dan, we're working at RDLs. Okay. I'm going to let it play and then we're going to break it down. Notice how he's reaching his arms, letting go of that mid-back tension to get distance. I do not care how far the bar goes, guys. I want you loaded properly. So what that means, what I would have rather had, can I pause? I want, Dan, your shoulders to be more back. So instead of reaching to get further, keep the connection, keep the shape intact. And you should only be hinging at the hip. Nothing in the upper body moves. And he's allowing that the shoulders let go. And we've seen this before, but I will tell you what, it's nice though. I like the nice bend in the knee. I would take a little bit more load on his hips, meaning if we're here, like the further our hips go back, the more we're going to load our glute and hamstring. When we get a little straighter and a little more over, it starts to transfer up to the upper back. So all I would tell you to do, Dan, is I want you to load, reach your hips towards the other side of your garage and really think, you guys can see, this is why we're a bra today. I want you to think about pulling those muscles back, right? Keep that tension locked. And that's why, to me, RDLs are a really hard movement to get, to learn and build on, because it creates stamina in our mid backs. It just takes time to get that locked in to free you up. Okay, brilliant. Jonathan, bent over barbell row. So I love everything about this. One thing I'm going to point out. So this is actually a great rep. So he was doing he was like Morse code, couple great reps, couple reps that I would have changed. So I like bent over rows. They're so great for strengthening your back and getting you better at deadlifting. I actually think this angle is great. I did see a little movement in your feet, Jonathan. Guys, keep your feet connected and on. I like that you're barefoot. You switch your toes on, you'll turn your glutes on, and it will give you a little bit more lower back stability, pardon me. What I'm loving is this position. Look at how at the top of the row, Jonathan's almost like he's pulling his chest through. That's the position I want to see when you guys are rowing, whether with the dumbbell or the barbell. But you'll see, let's see, can I get one of the ones where he did it? Sometimes, oh, see the difference? So he still made the full height of the bar, but notice how his shoulders are internally rotated. It's very common with barbell rowing, because you start to get tired. And so he was like, boom, chest out, boom, chest out. Oh, I'm a little tired. And so what happens, we make this compensation and we let our shoulders round forward. This is not the shape I want us to train in. We want nice, big, open chest, and we can get further in and deeper into our back. So just know, when you reach that point in your workout, let's say you got a set at 8, you're like, I'm feeling good, my feet are on, I'm starting to curl my shoulders a little bit. Oh, try one more. Okay, hold on. I sit up. I keep the weight in my hand. I don't give myself a break there. I'm like, okay, hold on. Reset, get my shoulders back, relock in, and finish that set pulling back. Okay? So just always know we want that. We want to, if you've got a mirror on the side, like we see with Jonathan, I should always be able to see the side of your chest. I should be able to see this little intersection versus it being closed off. Cool? You guys got to remember, like a barbell row, the inflection of that or reflection of that is a bench press, right? It's the same position, and we wouldn't bench press like this, right? That's not really a strong position. So open that chest, switch more muscle on. Okay. Oh, this is a G. By the way, can we just compliment your hack, the extra weights on the wrists to make it heavier? That's really good. Great tempo. Uh-huh. Does anybody want to see more of his chest? Right? You see how just slightly narrowed there as he's going. Totally normal when you get fatigued. Oh, yeah. Hard work, great set. I actually like all the positions. I would take a little bit more tension in the mid back. And I think what's going to happen is that when you create that tension here, you're going to have more access to the correct row position. But since he's just a little bit relaxed there, he's forced to be in a more limited range. That's all. This looks great. I really appreciate the tempo and the focus and the breathing on this one. Okay, Attikin, where you at, buddy? We got stuff to talk about today. So, the only thing, I know it seems kind of silly when you guys submit these videos, like you're like in your homes, in your place working out. I love when I get to see how you guys set up in the video. So Attikin, you kind of cut off the beginning and the end for me, but let me see you get in to your position next time, because we're starting, I see the video at go, And like, I want to see, how are you arranging your feet? How are you grabbing the weights? So just keep that in mind for everybody. Thanks for letting me use you as an example. Etienne, you were doing it to save me time, but I really like to see setup. So, well, you kind of give me a little bit now that I complained. You did give me a touch. What I'm looking for is tension here. So we kind of saw it in the last video where he was a little soft. Your opportunity is actually more in your mid back, right? And what's going to help is two things. Number one, I want you to bend your knees a little bit more, because when you bend a little bit more, it'll actually help you get into your glutes a little bit and support you. So if your legs are relatively straight, it's really hard. It's just a really difficult position to access. The moment I bend my knees a little bit, it gives my body ability to switch on and my posterior chain, which is fancy for the back side of my body. So straight knees tends to round me and turn off this muscle. A little bend gives me a little bit of a change in my pelvis. And now I'm like, oh, wait a second, now I've got some support. So I would like to see you bend those knees a little bit, because we're gonna change this shape and it will give you a better opportunity to start flatter. And then what's happening, because Etienne is in a position where he's not quite starting from a flat position, even though this is pretty incredible range of motion, especially those lateral flies, you're still missing those little muscles, these erectors and rhomboids sitting right along the spine. So what I would like to see happen as a gut check for you and for everybody, what I do personally, I was like, okay, I got my fives. And honestly, what I would do, Etienne, I would drop the weight. I don't use any weight on your first set. Actually, I'm just gonna do it with you. This is how, because especially says what I'm seeing in all these videos, not just this one, in general, as we've been doing this, is, you know, feeling your body in these positions. It's almost like you walk into a room with the lights are off and you're like looking for the bed. You're like, I know there's, hold on, you can't quite see. So part of this is feeling your way. So what I like with this, so start no weights, load the legs with a little more bend. And I just start like this. I reach, I squeeze, and I release. I squeeze and release. From the back, it looks like this. I'm just bringing my shoulder blades together and I let them drop. I squeeze and I let them drop. So what I would like you guys to do is a way to kind of prepare that connection, that mind to muscle connection that we're always talking about. I want you to then squeeze, then to the side, release, and relax. Squeeze back, side, release, right? Return and release. So start to get, and you only need 2 or 3 reps, you know, hitting it at the side, same thing, hitting that wide position, and then pick up your weights and then initiate that muscle movement from there. That's what I would crave if we were doing a one-on-one session. That's how I would do it. And that, by the way, guys, that works with lunges, that works with bench press. Take a second, like feel it in your body and be like, oh yeah, that's the spot I want to hit, and then we load it. You know, I do the warm up that we have in here. I don't do a lot more than that. I might walk or get on a bike for 5 minutes, but like that's a nice little thing you can start to put in to just prep that body movement. Sounds cool? Cool.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Can I ask one small thing?
Yes.
Should my
of course.
elbows be more straight?
I like micro bends. So I'm kind of a hyperextended athlete. Like that's my elbow that's straight. And I want a little micro bend in my elbow. My tricep is on, my bicep is on, and I'm supported. I'm not locked out going to the joint, and I'm not too bent that I'm taking that tension off the muscle belly.
Okay, thanks a
Okay.
lot.
Of course. Keep going. All right, we've got Manuel. Gorgeous. Nice kitchen, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is good tempo. I don't see anything wrong with the position. You are doing an exaggerated lean. So to me, like you going really deep and far is absolutely fine. This is fine. I'm getting loaded. I'm fine. But I also would like to see, like, if you had weights in your hands, that's gonna be tougher. You might need to take a slightly smaller step back. But I actually like your back hip is open. And since these are body weight, you showing that kind of control and tempo is perfect. So I mean, and it's a clean kitchen. So double whammy good.
Thank you. Like,
Yeah.
and I to tell you, like I'm sticking into the bodyweight program, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know,
Great.
yeah.
Keep doing it. So it's the non-sexy thing about working out. It's like, okay, you're doing everything right. Keep doing it. That's it. Now what? Nothing. Keep going. Right? So yeah, it's perfect. Looks awesome. All right, goblet squats. Here we go, Robert. Ooh. We got soundtrack music. I'm gonna call something out really quickly. So if anybody's wondering, so Robert is working out barefoot, which is absolutely fine, but you'll often see with lifters, lifting shoes, or people that go barefoot, they put like a little 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch wood or weight underneath their heels. Bringing the heels up slightly will help you get into your quads more deeply. It's a game of angles. This is like a physics thing, and it's a great thing. So if you find that when you're squatting, you can't get deep enough, or you're struggling to get the depth because your ankles that's what Robert's doing with the weight under his heels. Oh, well, that looks like warm butter, doesn't it? That's perfect. I wouldn't change anything. I would play with it, Robert, if you want to put your toes a little more forward, seeing what what it feels like on your quadricep heads. If your feet are a little bit more neutral versus panned out. Great depth, consistent. And I really like, if you look too at the bottom even, Robert's not collapsing. You can still say he's got some tension in his upper back. His elbows are staying relatively high. If it's a front squat with a barbell, you've got to be much higher. So goblet squats are a great opportunity to still load in a little bit easier of a position. But I mean, I guess my biggest note is you should just probably go heavier. Robert, this looks awesome. Sorry, buddy. More. Okay. Great. And I'm going to pause 1 second. I want to point out that I think it took, let's see, 11 seconds before he started to pick up the bar. That's a long time to hang out down there, guys. It's a cup of coffee. I would really like to see choreography around your deadlifts. It's really exciting to watch Nick move because he's done it so many times. You can see it's like a dance sequence, the way he steps, hand, loads, goes, whatever he's doing. And so for me, and I'm gonna, we've got the Swiffer, so this is, let's keep giggling to a minimum. But like when I walk up to the bar, put it here for a second. It's like I walk straight up. I think I might have to angle a little for you guys. Like I walk straight up to the bar, like step, hand, breathe. And when I do that, I'm here, I take a breath, I sink, and I drive. I don't want there to be fidgeting and thinking, especially when these weights get heavy. You should know exactly where you want to go. So I want you to practice that sequence on the light bar, on the workup sets. So when you start to the work in the sets, you know exactly what your steps are. Okay. So that's one thing I just want to point out. I think that there'd be he'd feel a little bit better if you walked up and you went. And the only thing I was going to say is I would like you to start with your hips a little higher. This is something that Coach Nick taught me, and it kind of changed everything. I want you to all watch his hips on the first lift, and then when he goes back down for the second one, watch how his hip position corrects itself. So he's going to start a little bit low on the first one, but by the nature of the weight and the deadlift on the way down, it all kind of fixes and he ends up in the perfect position, which resets him up. It sets him up for a better second rep. So here we go. So hips are just a little low. I'd rather take them like 6 inches higher here. Look how the hips stay higher. Isn't that gorgeous? He just fixed it. So Nick's always like the second one will fix itself, but it's really, that's why Nick really pushes and promotes that dead stop pull, because you're hitting it from the right angle. It makes you really strong. So I would just take hips just a little higher and bend that bar. I'm seeing a little bit of fatigue in the arms. You can see them round forward a little bit. I bend my pinkies into that bar to keep those traps on, my lats on. But again, every time he comes down, look at how good it gets on the way down. I'll let it play one more. Little bit sticky, but this is just stunning on the way home. So everybody just keep that in mind. That's the only thing I would say. Try to start with your hips a little higher and lock in that bar, pulling up and towards your hips. I just see like the one note is like, make the bar go back toward you. He's bringing his hips to the bar. He's kind of hanging over here, right? Hanging in this frontal plane. Think about ripping that barbell back toward you. Okay. All right. I'm going to keep cruising. I'll do this one quickly. This is a single leg RDL. I don't think this is too bad. I just think the feet are too far apart. That's what I'm seeing. I also don't love the flare of the neck. Everything else looks pretty darn good. So what I'm just saying, I'd like to see, if this leg is too far away, it's going to be hard to load right. Like I feel extended. I literally put the toe right behind the heel. I'm right there. My knees are side by side still. And you can see his is they're a little more separated, which is creating some pelvic instability. So I want the knees side by side and I'm loading right here. Remember, this leg is just a kickstand. So we're really loading. And from this side, it looks the same. Toe right behind the heel, like they would kind of, like if you put them side by side like this, I just move it to the side. And I'm really able to load with balanced hips. But if you get too spread out, then we got one pointing out. Cool? So really keep that in mind with this. And as with all deadlifts, I like my spine pretty darn straight. I like this position. And so when people do this, you can see they break the line. And it was specifically with deadlifts, we want to just keep everything neutral, your chin, your sternum, your pubic bone, all one line. So with any kind of dead or Romanian, I look kind of forward down, like where the wall matches the floor or meets the floor. That's where my eyes tend to go. That angle. We can do this. Okay. Okay, I love this. Oh, immediately I have a note. Guys, put your weights up on a bench if it's easier for you. I don't know if this is a public gym or what the story is. I put my weights up high. I'm not pulling from the floor like this. I don't like this is where I see people tweak their back. So just take it off the rack, and maybe this is a public gym, and maybe Tish just ended up pulling it in her space to work. I don't know the circumstances, but I put my stuff on a bench and I pull from a bench. Incredibly highly mobile person. Tish, this is great. I actually love this load, but the reality is we don't need to go this far in order to be successful. Okay, I'll let this play a couple. So Tish, you're going all the way to the ground, but we don't need to for the effect of the exercise. I also want to point out, do you guys see how her hips are still closed at the top? I want a full expression of your glutes. So if you stop here every time, what are we losing? 20%, 30% of a squeeze? What we want, guys, all of hypertrophy and bodybuilding and training and strength training is creating a stretch and a request on the muscle and then fully squeezing it into position. And so if she's stopping short, we're leaving some opportunity on the table. We're already doing the reps. It's taken all the way. So I want to make sure we're fully expressing your hip through line here, but also I mean, guys, I'm pretty flexible. I can touch the ground with a flat back. This is not gonna help me get stronger. I stop my load right at my knees. I reach my hips back as hard as I can and I drive right here. I do not go further than this. And let me tell you, it is plenty. Okay, plenty. So what I would tell you, Trish, is finish your hips at the top. And if you can go all the way down and go up and it's not a problem, then you got to go up in your weights. That's it. It's cool. So shorten the range and load heavier. Yes, this is the one Ray didn't want me to do. Everything's awesome. I just want to point out something that all my clients do. See Ray's knees and then see how his hips are just sloped downward from them. When you're weight training, when you're in your car, I want you guys to have your hips. We've talked about this once. I want your hips above your knees. Okay. I want this versus this. Does everybody see what happens to my body when my knees go up? I round. So when your hips start to collapse, the shoulders round. And if this is not a strong position, this is. I want you on your legs. I want you on your hips. And what I see, all my clients, I go to their cars, I make them get in the driver's seat and I change their seat because so many of our cars are like this, right? Our hips are up, we're bucketed down. So I make all their seats go up. So it's going to create a lot of happiness in your lower backs when you're driving around town and carpooling and everything, road trips especially. But I would honestly, like, I just want you to put a little, I mean, you could fold up a yoga mat or one of those ab mats. I just want to lift your hips 2 inches, Ray. That's it.
All right. Well, part of
And
that
what's
is
crazy is because if you're going to try to press from a rounded position, good luck. Good luck, you guys, right? So getting stacked, now that's strong.
yeah, part
Cool?
of that's the design of the bench, the way the seat is angled, and there's like a
Correct.
foot pad in front of you. So I'll try to put my feet on the floor versus up on that pole, up on that
Correct.
bar.
I bring, when I'm on tour with my clients, I bring an extra pad everywhere we go. These are just mass produced equipment and it's great. But even a flat bench, it's still too low. I have a client that's 6'3". I lift his butt up. I lift his butt up. Period.
All right.
Yep. Fine. Okay, let's get to your other one. Ooh, way to fight. I saw that.
This is like, I think this is like the third or fourth set. So
Yeah, I can see. The only thing I'm really craving. So do you see that moment where Ray, like, he like rips at the bar a little bit? I want you to ease into that a little bit more, Ray. When you hear
okay.
that click, ease into the wedge, hips, load, and then stand. I just think what I want is that kind of, when you take the slack out of the bar, it's really gentle. But look what it does. Like my back just gets locked in and you're just slightly here. And strong as a house, dude, like your legs are pushing you. But imagine if you got a little bit more access to your glutes. And what's
All
happening
right.
is because you're just slightly rounded. If we can just get you a little, like just from here to here, I mean, I can immediately feel my glutes turn on more, right?
All right.
That was
Sounds good.
awesome. And I saw the way you fixed your first one. Really good. You were slightly forward and you were like, oh shit. And then you just hung in there and you continued to go up. It was awesome. By the way, let's put this guy in a t-shirt. Look at this flipping guy. Look at that. Okay. All right, we got to keep cruising. All right, Tom. Yup. Oh, wow. Good work. So I want to compliment Tom's absolute commitment in his upper half. So I love saying this, like your gift is your gap, you guys. So Tom obviously is going through something on that left knee. There's some stability, there's some variability. Because of that, he is locked. His arms are in, his back is tight, his chest is forward, his rib cage is stacked, his breath is on, his fiercely determined. I love that. What I want to do is just clean up your foundation. So Tom, I see you've got lifters and you've got, and you're putting weights underneath you. This, in my opinion, is creating some variable. I don't mind that you have your heels up on this. What I think your body's going to respond more to, though, is a more neutral foot. Okay? So because your feet are a little bit splayed, it's creating opportunity for deviation. I see your feet collapsing a little bit. So make sure you're turning. I talk about it every time I do these calls, guys, but turn your feet on. Switch your feet on in your shoes. Grab the bottom of your shoes. And then what's happening is because that variability, you kind of see the knee go in, you see his hips kind of cruising around, and he's like just finding his way as he's fighting his way up. When you bring the knees, the toes forward, now, Tom, I would want you to practice this with an empty bar, work up and weight, see how it feels. But I switched my feet neutral and it took away all that deviation. So I want you to work towards that. That's the thing I would say, because this looks great. Everything's there. We just got to set a better foundation for you. Great setup. All right, Lisa. Good breath. I want your eyes always to stay up, you guys. You don't need to see where you're going in a squat. Are we noticing Lisa's lack of full extension at the top, similar to the other video? Make sure, Lisa, you're squeezing your butt and your hips are coming all the way up flush at the top. I want your eyes up and forward. And by the way, range of motion comes with strength and comfort and consistency. So even though she's not dropping all the way down, what I see is a really beautiful shape here. I can't quite see her feet, but her heels look like they're completely down. I love this nice load and angle, big open chest, head's in a good position, hands are tight. This is great. I just would honestly tell you to keep your eyes up, do a rep, pause a half a second, do a rep, pause. Like these feel like they're running together a little bit. And I see how she doesn't quite stop at the top, guys. Like I want you to fully finish, breath, go. Fully finish like that. I like that stop. By the way, and this is legitimate weight. I mean, let's give you some props, Lisa. 135. That looks like 25. Is this 195? That's pretty legit. But I think what would be better is to give yourself a little bit more pace, like slow it down in the reps, drop off some weight, and see if you can't get a little lower. Work. It's the story of catch, right? Bring the weights down, build it back up. But this, you should feel pretty good about that. All right, Jan, let's go, babe. I don't love the shoes she's working out in. These, by the way, they're super cute. I love them. Little springy. Running shoes and often create a lot of variability and feedback from the ground. That's what they're built for, right? When it comes to weight training, I like your feet a little bit more. I like your feet with less feedback and variability in a shoe. So I would kind of want you to take your shoes off on these. The biggest note I'm seeing, again, gorgeous mobility, great tight back, but the weight is in the frontal plane here. We need her glutes and hamstrings loading. And you easily fix this by creating a stronger angle with your hips. So if she just bent her knees a little more, Jan, bend your knees a little bit more and shove your butt that way. Like try to let your butt touch this wall behind you. It will fix all this right away. Because all that's going to happen, we're going, sorry guys, thanks for being patient as I get up and down so much. We're going here to here. What a difference, huh? That's it, 15 degrees. So I'm feeling it when I do this. I feel it here and I feel it in my back and a little in my butt. When I do this, dude, my butt went like wonk. Like I felt it up here in the meat of my hamstrings and in my mid back versus my lower back. So this is, it's a game of angles, and that's what I want you to work. But this is beautiful, Jan, like great weight, but just slightly change it. Oh yeah, I remember this video. Awesome. I just thought it was beautiful. I really don't have any notes. I love the triangle that Nick always teaches us. Great load, the right hip height. I can see a lot of ponytail, which means I bet her, Mal, your head's angled up like this. So I would just dip the chin a little bit, but I would dip your chin and go heavier. I thought this was a lot of fun. Beautiful job and cool outdoor gym. Well, whatever is happening there, I'm like, I am so not as hardcore as that. I'm such a baby. This is awesome. Okay. We haven't done a bench press. I'm pretty pumped about it. Only two things I would say. I'd like to see more squeeze in your butt, Jules. I can tell you're not squeezing because your core is not tight. You guys, if you're benching or you squeeze your butt, your abs switch right on. It connects the top half and the bottom half. So I'd like to see that. I like his foot position though. The bar looks a little high. A little. I mean, maybe I would, kind of feels like it's up here. I would take it down here. More muscle to help out, less constricted, right? So I would take you down about 2 inches. It was awesome. Right, straight, consistent. This looked easy. I actually think you submitted a incline bench video as well. Both were great. Yeah, but see how his stomach is kind of up and down. If you squeeze your butt for me, this is going to get even lighter for you, bud. Awesome work. I'm loving the full extension. I also want to point out his hand distance. So I love this. I see a lot of people pulling too narrow. And if you're going to pull up and you're too narrow, you're going to limit the access to some of the bigger muscles that are going to really help you get up. So like I see people's like hands inside shoulders. I like that he's a bit wider and he's really, I mean, what's it look like? Lat pull down machine, right? It's great. I love getting these turned on and helping. The only thing, if I'm going to be really picky, because like, by the way, this is incredible work. He's controlled. I love the full range of motion. I know he's got the belt with the weight in front. I would still like to see his toes in front. I love a hollow body hold when you're stricting. Guys, nothing's going to keep that shape more sound and more consistent. And to me, you're going to be here not using your abs, or we hollow body in front and now this is all switched down. So that's all I would say. Put your feet in front and really hold that gymnastics hollow hold. It'll be worth it. I want you guys to look at where his shins are and where the bar is. See how they're not touching? They're probably 6 inches apart. I want you guys to walk right up to that barbell. You should be making contact with the bar and you reach straight down. And because of this, he has to offset. Look at how far his knees. Oh, I did something. Right? So like he almost unloaded himself to make it happen. I would make your feet a little closer, my friend, and I would just start with those shins on the bar. It's going to set you up better, far better. Now, nobody judge. Oh, it says my screen share is paused. Great, because my desktop is super messy. Let's see. Sorry guys, I don't know. I think I have to reopen the Dropbox. Thanks for being patient. Okay. For my last 4 videos. Here we go. Hold on. How do I unpause my screen share? Resume. What can you guys see? Can you see all this stuff now?
Nope.
Can't see anything. I don't know why. I'm going to stop sharing and reshare. I think that's the way I'm going to fix this. Thanks, guys. Sorry. And then I'm going to open this up. Thanks, guys. Okay. And you see how his hips had to reconnect? But just like before, on the way down, his body fixes it. So I just really want to see the barbell starting on that shin. Everything else is pretty darn good. I'd take a little bit more mid-back tension. I love these dead stops. And I would definitely bring your foot in an inch on each side. Be a little bit more narrow. Let's see. Last 3. A lot of good things happening here. The irony is, can you see the more Ian does, the better the reps are getting? He's getting deeper. He's feeling more confident. He's grooving a pattern. Guys, that's what these work sets are for. These work upsets. You should be going into these actual sets like already at this level, but you can see rep by rep it got better. So here's what I'll say. Depth is improving as you're going, which is awesome. Your knees and your pardon me, your knees and your feet are tracking beautifully. And I'm really impressed with this mid-back tension and spine. This is awesome. I just want to see a little bit more pelvis stability. So there's this concept of when your feet are here, imagine these are my feet, of like screwing in your feet into the ground. Okay, heel, toes, and even though your feet aren't actually going to move, right, because you're stable, I want you to create this energetic spiraling of your feet. And that's what I'm craving here with Ian. I think what we need is we need to activate your hips and pelvis correctly to really stack you better. I like the load that you're pushing. It might look like we have to go back just down a little bit in weight so we can go a little further in depth. But I'd really like you to play with that screwing in of the feet concept, because there's a disconnect happening from here to here, and that's your hips. I want those to be switched on, and that's going to help you do that. 602, guys. Last 2. Thanks for hanging in there. Another note as a coach, if you can pull your cameras back a little bit so I can see your feet. I know Nick and I like to see the whole picture. So even whether it's from the front or from the side, I can't quite see the setup of the feet here. That would have been helpful. Just a note for everybody. Yeah. We're seeing a pattern today, right? A lack of completion of that hip drive. So just make sure, guys, the hips are coming all the way through. Pause for a second and then re-engage. Pause, re-engage. You're going to get so much more out of the reps you're already committed to. So why not go to completion? Okay. I am also seeing, see how Torque, your elbows are coming down. So what's happening is he is trying to get lower. And the way I like to tell you what, we've all done push-ups when we're tired and we find we're like reaching our faces to the floor, right? Because we feel closer, so we reach our heads. Part of what's happening is he's trying to get lower, and by going to feel lower, he's collapsing his upper body to feel like he's traveling further than he actually is. Because if you look, as much as there's some good strength in here, his hips have a stopping point and his upper body does the rest. the hips stop and then the upper body collapses. So I would rather maintain this tight position, go, go, go. Hips are done. Hips are done. Don't reach the upper body down just to feel like you're getting more height. I can't see your feet. The way I'm seeing, and I can't see your knees either. The way I'm seeing the shape happen, I think we've got to look at some ankle mobility, maybe lifting shoes. I wear lifters that gives me a little heel, or having those 5-pound plates, but we've got to start to create access from the bottom up so you can keep your torso vertical and really load your legs. So please, please, please submit squat again further back. And so we can go a little bit deeper into the foundation of your squat. Last video, guys. Big deadlift, looks like 315. Six inches from the bar, maybe 8. See it? I really want you guys to walk up, kiss your shins to the bar. A lot of time at the bottom. He's adjusting, he's trying. Guys, at this level of weight, like it's 315 for him, maybe it's 50 pounds for somebody else. When you're pulling a load that is challenging for you, don't mess around. Have the choreography, have your position. Don't wonder, no, okay? Love how he's stuck in it. But I'm just going to repeat this. We saw this. I'm going to give it one more conversation around it. So because the bar's away from his shins, he's forcing his knees forward and he's unloading the parts of his body that normally would help him lift. So the first thing that happens, okay, now he's like, okay, I'm in. We're still really reaching forward, whereas his shins should be vertical. Deadlifting, your shins should be vertical, and he's reaching over the bar. But I love this back posture. He's like, I'm ready to go. And because of this, he's got to compensate. First thing that happens, ass shoots up. But you know what happened? His body got his shin straight, didn't it? So your body will win. What I just want to see, Torque, is you to load and pull from this position. Okay? Load from here, and it's going to really take the weight out of the front and make it easier to drive up and back. Cool? Okay, cool. All right, I didn't see any of these comments. Oh my goodness. I'm at 6:07. I'm so close to being perfect on time. Did you great. I'm just looking really quick. Donna had to go. Great. Yep. Cecilia, exactly. Okay. I don't think there's anything lingering. I do see 2 hands up, so I am going to answer those questions. But if you guys have to go, feel free to go. I totally understand. I just want to try to respect the holiday hour. I hope this has been fruitful and helpful. Keep training, work those positions, watch this again if you need it, send in more videos, because this is how we all get better. Okay. All right, amazing. Go if you have to go. She-Wolf, what would you like to talk about? Your hands went up from before. So do you still have a question? Okay. But will you also remind me of your first name too? I know She-Wolf is your username, but oh, you're still muted.
Zara.
Oh, Zara. Yes. Now I remember. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm about to start doing self-studying for an ASM to get the certified personal coach, the fitness, the nutritionist, and then like a few others. I told them I wanted to specialize eventually going after physical therapy,
Yeah,
but I
cool.
figured this would get me working and helping people sooner while I go to school to be a physical therapist. Because I really want to specialize in people that are like where I was at, mobility issues, or spinal issues. I was on pain for 12 years. Um, you know, I watched mobility issues tear down my grandparents and other people
Yeah,
I love. So, that's kind of the
I
path I
love
want to
that.
go. So
Yeah.
I guess for anybody that's going down that road, do you have any pitfalls, didn't see this, or anything you'd throw at somebody?
I just think your greatest asset will be your curiosity and your care for people. I have lots of very different people I work with. I have a professional musician, writer on the road, and I call him like his occupational injuries are his guitar playing. And so I had to get curious. Okay, what's happening in his body? How can I help reset that? How can I let him feel very safe on stage where he can go and he can dance and he can move and he's going to be out of pain? So it's like I read more. I took the Ready State courses 101 and 102 with Kelly Starrett, and his language around body and care and strength and healing is really fun to be around. So I would highly recommend that coursework and
Could you
him.
could you type those in the chat when you have a chance?
Yes, you know what? Just don't comment. Will you just comment on a post on Instagram? My latest post. Just like put a heart and then I'll find you that way because I feel like I've seen
And
you on
then we'll just,
Instagram.
I feel like that'd be faster and just, yeah,
That's what I'll
okay,
do. I'll send you
great.
some resources there. But that's what it is. So just your curiosity, I like just but being around movement patterns assistance. I have a woman that is, was barely running and terrible hip pain. I'm like, okay, how do I solve this problem? So it's about curiosity and then asking questions to people that know more than you. And that's how I've come this far. I mean, I've had people from all kinds of different levels of need, and I just learned along the way. And now you're looking at 20 years of learning. So you already have your own user experience and your family's experience, and now you're just going to keep stacking. So just be patient with yourself, but curiosity and care, which you already have a heart for it. So that's what I would say.
Okay, thanks. I'll message
Yeah.
you on Instagram.
Yes, I'll look for
Later.
it right when we hang up. Emmanuel, your hands back up. Let's do it, buddy.
So yeah, just a quick question. I just want to ask, like, and like, in life, like, how to balance things. Like, how am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to like balance it, like, during fitness and like the other responsibilities? Because on Tuesday, I'm going back to my first day back in college, and and uh, like, how can I balance it, like with fitness and college studies? Like, how can I do that?
I will give you a question for your question. How hard is it to find 3 hours a week for yourself? That's all we're asking for. 3 hours. It's not very much, right? And what I tend to do is I tend to habit stack. I do two things at once. Like if I'm working out and I'm doing something else, like I have a podcast that I'm doing. And so when I'm training, I'm reviewing my podcast. So you can habit stack, but I would tell you, Manuel, like you need to prioritize this because this piece of your life will make everything else better. And so I would like if you have like I remember when my last year at college, I thought I was like a genius. And I was like, I'm gonna stack my Tuesdays and Thursdays. I was so exhausted from class because I did like 4 long classes. But I knew that my heavier training days could be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a weekend day. So play with your class schedule and trial and error. Like I want you are someone that I've talked to a lot during the app. You're a little bit unsure of what's right or wrong, and the only way to know the answer for you is to try. So try it out. Say, okay, Tuesday's my first day of class. I'm going back. I'm not going to work out today, but I'm going to focus on just getting steps in between classes. Great. Wednesday, what's your hour? What's your ability to do it? And let's say you hold 12 to 1, right? And then you realize, oh my God, by the time I left class and I got to the thing, then it was 12:15, I had to skip a workout. Okay, that's not going to work. It's not like a failure. It's not like, oh, I can't do this. It's like that day's not going to work for me. So for sometimes when I was doing a lot more television, I barely worked out during the week. I would do a Saturday, and because we only film Biggest Loser on Monday through Wednesday, or Monday through Friday. So I would do a Saturday, Sunday, and then like a Wednesday. That's how I got it in. So there's no rule,
Okay.
but you just have to like try some patterns out. That's what I would say to you.
Okay. Just to
Yeah.
see like,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
patch
you.
it and then see. Yeah. And then by the way, I'm not going anywhere. Try some things and the next call say, okay, this is working, this wasn't. Do you have any ideas? Let's workshop it together.
Okay. Thank you, Jen.
You bet, honey. Of course. All right, Brianne, last question, hun.
Hi, Jen.
Hi.
I posted in the chat for this, and I'm the one who is just coming off of chemo and a
Yes.
mastectomy. So I just
Yes.
wondered, are there any things to be aware of when you're starting to do push-ups again, starting to do chest press, anything like that after a mastectomy? Or is it just,
I mean,
again, trial and error?
yes. So first and foremost, clearance from your doctor. Have they released you?
Yep.
Oh, by the way, awesome.
So exciting.
Congratulations. Like,
Thanks.
congratulations. Such a big
Yeah.
deal. Then next step is I want you to approach reentry without any judgment. I want you to be very careful and gentle with yourself because you're like, it never was this way. I don't, well, this is weird. And I don't know if you ended up getting a reconstruction or what's going on with that, but like I've worked with 2 women that have gone through this, and you know, it's like, I remember one did a push-up. She's like, I feel weird. I go, well, let's not
Yeah.
do it yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would start with gentler, slower loads. I would also really recommend if you could get into like a Pilates class or a yoga just to get some positional. Oh, I'm not so much worried about this. I'm worried about like extended tissue loads because a lot of what happens when you go through that kind of surgery, there's nerves, there's fascia, and we want everything just sliding and gliding and working together. And you could absolutely create forward progress without pain and discomfort. I don't want you to like kick your ass into doing this, but I would just, like, listen, like these programs are not built for post, breast cancer, double mastectomy, whatever. So like, I would say if it says like, even in the warm up, 10 push-ups, maybe you do 3,
Yeah.
right? And maybe
Yes.
it's against a wall or like a corner. Like just be like, okay, 1, 2, 3. Like I want you to have forward progress without pain, without like stress. We just want to keep adding one more blue chip up on our column every single day. So like, and by the way, that doesn't mean, well, today you did 3 push-ups, Brianne. So tomorrow it's 4. Do 3 for the entire week and see your body's evolution. See how you sleep, see where your hunger is, see what happens, and then say, yeah, I'm cool. All right, next week 4. That's that's how I would go it. But you're the authority.
Yeah.
And again, if you've got clearance from your doc, then yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then the only other part to my question was around like fitting in cardio with that kind of stuff, right? So I was cleared to start running again before doing any
That's
weights
right.
and stuff.
Yes,
so
yes.
so I'm back running and loving it. But how do you balance that with strength training stuff?
Well, as everybody knows, I'm like, I'm not in love with running. I'm not very good at it. But to your point, I end up using it as like a buffer. Like I tend to do better in workouts when I've had blood flowing and got my heart rate up a little bit. So I would tack it on as like a warm up. Like I think April's doing the 5K training or something, or right. She's been doing it before, or I'll do sprint training. So I'll get on a bike and I'll do like a 15-second sprint on an assault bike and 2-minute, like chill as can be pedal. And I'll do 5 rounds and then I'll start my pump workout. So it's a matter, it takes me 10 minutes, but I tend to bookend that kind of training. And then also it depends how your energy is now post, healing, or as you're healing, I should say. So it's like, maybe you don't want to put your run days on your lifting days. It might be too much of a request. But if you want to start to layer it, maybe it's like a 10-minute, you know, steady state drive, maybe just a mile run, give yourself a limit on length, and then hit your pump workout, audit. How did I do? How did I feel? How sore is I the next day? Right. And then go from there. So,
because I feel like it would be better to keep the rest days.
I agree with you. My body responds better that way. I'm like, I gotta work out again. Isn't there a day where I could just do nothing? Like, golly, like, you know what I mean? Like, even on like Saturday, like I took my stepper off. I'm like, I don't even want to know. I don't care. Like, so I'm like you. I'd rather stack it and let the conditioning and then that running piece influence your lifting and be a part of it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But be
Thank
in
you.
touch with me. Always just tag me in the app if you got questions and let me know how it's going.
Okay, awesome. I will. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're proud of you. Congratulations, honey. It's such a big deal.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Peggy's writing you a message. We're inspired. Okay, guys. I kind of kept my promise. I technically was done at 6:04 and now I've done extra questions, but it's been so good to spend my holiday weekend with you. If anything comes up, you know where to find me, tag me, and then I'll see you guys this week in the app and tomorrow's check-in. Okay? Okay.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Good night. Noah,
Thank
thanks for
you.
everything.